Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime, site super moderator for Avatar The Last Airbender Online.com and main host of the Avatar Online podcast. I'm here today with my next Korra news update video and also my speculation going into K111, Night of the Thousand Stars, and K212 Harmonic Convergence. Yeah, these numbers are kind of getting hard to say now. But, yeah. News. Start off with probably something I should have covered a while ago, but we have ratings for the guide and also a new spiritual age, so episode 9 and 10. The guide got 2.473 million, and new spiritual age got 2.2 million. So ratings up, that's good. I suspect tonight we'll probably get maybe in around 2.4, 2.5, which again will be good. That's just like 0.2 away from competing with some of the top shows on Friday night. They're good ratings for Friday night. You don't really expect any shows to get like at least on Nickelodeon to really get like 4 million or anything like that, like Korra used to get. But this is still good sign for the rest of the season. But yeah, next thing I want to mention is huge breaking news about tonight and what's going to happen. Coronation set up that we have some huge piece of news, and just a few minutes ago they said what it was, and what it is that they put up a post. They had a video, Janet Varney explaining what to do, and basically one of their Tumblr posts, coronation.tumblr.com, the latest one with the video of Janet Varney, if that gets reblogged 10,000 times before midnight GMT, no, not GMT, midnight EST, Eastern Standard Time, they're going to be putting up the finale of Korra Book 2 on Nick.com. Sorry, I completely blanked on what I was going to say there. But anyway, yeah. So that means we're getting 11 and 12 tonight on TV, but we could get 13 and 14 at midnight tonight if this post gets 10,000. Now, I suspect we're going to get that within the next hour or two, because it's already at like 2,500 already, and I think the post has only been up about an hour, so it's looking really good. Just make sure that you go on Tumblr and reblog it. Guarantee that we get this, just to make it certain. But this is a good sign. I like what they're doing with Coronation. I doubt it's going to impact ratings too much, because Nick.com isn't really the best quality, and people will want to see it full screen on big TV if they have a big TV, HD and stuff like that. People will want to see that, so I doubt it will affect ratings too much, but it is going to be this huge kind of boost for them in terms of so much social media activity surrounding the show, simply because of this kind of Tumblr post. It's a really nice idea, and it's a really clever way to do things. Now they did this. The first time they did something like this was actually for book 1 of Korra, when they, I think, did something much the same. I think it might have been 100,000 posts over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, but it was more like 100,000 likes or something like that on Facebook, and they put up the first episode of Korra a week or two early. So this is something along those lines, except this will be the finale of book 2, Spirits, early. So that'll be Darkness Falls and Light in the Dark tonight. So that means that tonight we could get we're more than likely going to get, it's almost guaranteed now, that we're going to get the finale of book 2, Spirits. Come just over 12 hours, we're going to know how book 2 finishes, and we're going to be waiting for book 3. So interesting. So I'll actually get straight into my speculation, because there really hasn't been any other news apart from that. We're just waiting for book 2 to finish up. I'll probably do a video sometime next week where I'll talk about the Core Book 2 awards for the site. Now, we did book 1 awards last time round for book 1. Really successful. One of the most popular things we've ever done on the site. Definitely doing it again. It was really fun, and I'll explain that in a kind of separate video sometime coming up in the next few days. But yeah, goes to speculation. This could be my last time to give speculation without actually knowing how the book ends, and it realistically is. So speculation going into basically the last 4 episodes of the season. Well, obviously, my speculation for the next episode, 211 out of 1,000 stars. We already know it's going to be a Bolin focused episode, so I doubt we're going to see much Korra until maybe the end of the episode. But this is, I think, it's going to be a really important episode for Bolin's character development. We've known since like a year or two ago that Bolin was going to have an arc in book two, and it was going to be more serious for him. It was going to be a big thing for him. It was going to involve some romance. We've had that with Eska, and it was going to involve him really kind of growing as a person. And we've sort of had that now that it's kind of a movie star success. And based around what we know about this episode, I think this is going to be really crucial for him as a character, just because the description for this episode reads that like he saves President Raiko from some disaster or something like that, and I have seen a clip of him going to visit Mako in prison. So if all of this kind of comes together really nicely, that like Asami proves that Mako's innocent and that Varrick's up to no good, and depending on the way Bolin reacts to maybe figuring this out too, there could be some really nice stuff going on here with Bolin, and probably the episode will end or something like that with the reformation of Team Avatar again. Episode 12, I think Brian in one of the videos that's up on nick.com said this is going to be where Team Avatar goes to the South Pole to stop Unalaq's plan. So this is where we see in all those clips people going through the spirit portal, Mako, Bolin. So I assume everyone's going into the spirit world now, which is going to make for a really interesting finale, especially with the stuff we know about like some of the last few episodes. Like Tenzin's going to have to deal with his inner demons. Now, what exactly does that mean? I'm assuming right now that means something along the lines of him finally getting over this kind of block that he's not able to go into the spirit world yet. He's so eager for that to happen. That's his destiny. I think his willingness to save Jinora could be the thing that actually allows him to go into the spirit world. And getting into some proper speculation that's not just talking around the descriptions, I really think what's being set up is Tenzin versus Unalaq as one of these big kind of end game fights. I really think that because Korra is probably going to tell Tenzin that Unalaq nearly killed her, that this is going to be this big kind of grudge match. He's going to go into Spirit World with his bending. He's going to have to fight Unalaq, and it's going to be this big, huge kind of father on father thing. And another thing about Unalaq, I think that may be revealed, is that the reason he's doing a deal with Vaatu, who I'm sure he's a spiritual guy. He probably knows that Vaatu is the spirit of like evil and chaos in the world. I think the only reason he'd actually willingly kind of trust Vaatu would be because Vaatu offered him something. And I think that has to do with whoever Unalaq's wife is, whoever Eska and Desna's mother is, because this show and Avatar has this thing where usually if there's something up with a character and their parents, we knew from like pretty much as soon as they were introduced, Mako and Bolin were orphans. Asami said really early on that her mother was dead. Katara, Sokka, they said their mother was dead, their father was gone. The show has a really tendency of telling you what the character's parental situation is. It was really obvious throughout this season that it's been Unalaq, Eska and Desna. And where's the mother? What's up with that? It hasn't been mentioned at all, so I have a feeling that's going to be the big secret thing in the end. He wants her maybe brought back to life or something like that by Vaatu, and he's promising Unalaq that, and there's going to be some big betrayal between Vaatu and Unalaq. That's going to be their way to kind of not just have Unalaq be the evil guy who's kind of talking about balance a lot or something like that. I'm not really sure if they're going to go down the road of making Unalaq this dark kind of Avatar type thing. Like, he's not going to get the four elements, obviously. I think that's going to be one of the things. He's not going to have four elements. But Unalaq, like, possessed by a spirit with water bending, that could maybe be something, but I have a feeling that may not happen. If it does, I have a feeling what's going to happen is that we're going to see a big reference to the fact that, one, it took years of training for him to be able to, like, hold Ravo's energy within him for any amount of time. So I have a feeling that Unalaq, probably without any of that training, may kind of meet his end by just Vaatu kind of destroying him from being inside him too long. something like that. Um, as for the description for the final episode, Korra, like at what cost is Korra going to find a way to defeat Vatu? I really think it may come down to her using that technique that Unalaq has, that light bending technique on Vatu. I think that would be really interesting that she's only succeeded at using it once against those bats, and then there's a few times that she hasn't succeeded. So her using that like in the Avatar state or something like that on Vatu would be really interesting, and like just this thing of like turning the spirit of darkness into light would be crazy as a way to, I suppose, bring peace to the world for another 10,000 years or something like that. But at what cost? Is it going to be this whole battle of light and dark again? I have a feeling they could, in the end, maybe do something like the Avatar is changed forever because of whatever happens here. Whether that be the energy she has to expel in doing this causes the Avatar to something to happen there, and then book 3 maybe is about her fixing that, and book 4 is then something else. I'm not sure, but I think they have to do something big here to differentiate how this will end compared to just battle between light and dark, Aang taking Ozai's bending away. They have to do something different than that. What else? Jinora. I feel Jinora has to have some bigger role than she's had already. Great setup in episode 2. Great to see her coming back in episode 9. And I like mostly what she did in episode 10. But I think now that she's captured, she has to do, I think, something on her own to prove that she wasn't just like brought into things to be like set up for something Tenzin has to go through. I think she has to do some stuff on her own. And I have a feeling that that may involve Wan Chi Tong. A lot of what she said in the last episode was about Wan Chi Tong and really kind of talking to him as if he should be a different type of spirit. He should like act differently with humans. I think how she escapes could maybe be on her own. She convinces Wan Chi Tong to change his mind about something or other. I think that would be an interesting idea, just to have Jinora really do something big on her own. That would be cool. And that, you still have Tenzin kind of come in and maybe beat Unalaq, or else Jinora interferes in their battle and like swings it in like Tenzin or her father's favor. That would be really cool. I think the key points here are that I want something else from Wan Chi Tong. I want Jinora to do something big. I want Tenzin, I think, to battle Unalaq. I think because Unalaq said like, what sort of father is he? Better than you, Jinora says. I think there's some setup for a Tenzin Unalaq fight. I really want that to happen. Avatar changed in some way forever, something different. I have a feeling we could see Rava maybe come back like in like a voice acting role, like we actually hear that voice again. Something along those lines. Something big happens at the end. And what else? In terms of shipping, I would like to see Mako and Korra get back together, just because I think that's the most stable relationship in the show, and just because if they don't get back together, I have a feeling they'll spend a lot of time in book 3 and 4 eventually having them get back together, because I think it is the end game relationship at the end of the day. I don't really see anything happening with the rest of them, so I think Makora has to happen there, I think, just to stabilize the shipping in this show, because it got a little bit out of hand with the whole Mako Asami thing this season, and just I hope they calm it down a bit. Anything else? I think Eska and Desna will have to do something where they turn against their father. And if it involves their mother, there could be some really emotional stuff with those two. I just want something more from them. Really, I have no idea what they're going to do with Varric for the rest of the book. I have absolutely no idea what his involvement is. He seems to be a villain. I have a feeling he could be taken down in episode 11, and that's him done for the rest of the book, maybe. Maybe he then redeems himself by, like, giving Korra and Co some technology to help take out something in the spirit world, but I think for the most part Varric may be done as a character. they have to reference the war in the South again. They have to have reintroduced Korra's father and mother, Senna, Tonrock and Senna, back into things. That's a key point as well. Other than that, I think things are set up really well. I think these are going to be 4 fantastic episodes. Really excited. So yeah, I went a bit longer on the speculation this time, but as I said, this is basically going to be the last time I can speculate about book 2, because I'm probably going to be able to see the finale. We're all probably going to be able to see the finale by at least tomorrow morning, just because we will get over that 10,000 threshold to see all the episodes, and I'm just excited. Look out for podcasts over the next few weeks about the remaining 4 episodes of Korra. Look out for news about that award show I was talking about. The award thing we're doing on the side. We'll give out the results in a podcast too, so just keep an eye on the side and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, and bye.